So we are here, as you may tell, at the evening of day number 2 by the mood lighting here in our motel room. We thought we'd bring you just a little bit of our thoughts on day number 2 and what we saw today, highlights, stuff like that.
We're trying to rack our brain, remember what we actually did today.
Yeah,
it's been a little bit challenging.
We still have jet lag and everything kind of mixing into each other, but...
Yeah, and it's 11 o'clock at night and we're back at the hotel room, first time since like 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So excuse us if we are a little bit scattered brain or something like that. It's honest.
Yeah, but here's our best attempt. We started the day with Zombie Vikings and SteamWorld Heist. Yes. We actually got hands-on, we got to play, which is a fun change of pace. Yes. Normally we just slide in for the interview and get out of there, but we actually got to play. You played SteamWorld Heist.
Yes, and I think that is a very interesting premise. As a turn-based strategy game that is actually a side-scrolling 2D game. Yeah. So very interesting premise. It's sort of like XCOM turned on its side, if you will, and it offers some interesting mechanics because you can bounce bullets off of environment and so on and so forth. Yeah. It's really interesting, and of course I really enjoyed SteamWorld Dig, and it's another game in that same universe. So.
Yeah, with the steam-powered robots, and they're going to be introducing different difficulty levels. They talked about that they might include like an Iron Man mode, where they have permadeath, but that's not going to be in the base game.
No.
Which I think makes sense with the whole story, and you know, like you had in the demo, you lost the lead character.
That would have been game over.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think that kind of makes sense. Zombie Vikings was a lot of fun as well. Four-person brawler.
Very, very much humor all over the place.
Yeah, from the makers of Stick It to the Man, so it's very much in that same art style.
Yeah.
I think I had some problems with keeping track of the characters.
It was very chaotic, we should say. And of course, it's one of those games where perhaps you need to either maybe they will design it a little bit more so that it's easier to pick out your characters, or you'll just need to sort of learn to see what's going on, and that is something you perhaps need to get used to. But some really neat mechanics there, and co-op and carrying each other. We created this leaning tower of players and
holding each other on the swords and stuff like that.
The benefit of being a zombie is that you don't really have to care much. You're already dead, so you can sort of abuse each other a little bit in that sense, and you can use each other as ammunition also. And then if one person die, their head, you can put it on your sword, and they can then puke.
Still do damage.
Yes.
So that was very chaotic and a bit distracting at times because you kind of merged with the enemies and stuff, but still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. We also had a talk with the lead writer of This War of Mine, which is coming to tablets soon. They're not doing mobile, only tablets. And he was very adamant about there's not going to be any sort of free-to-play bullshit or anything like that. It's going to be premium title, pay once, and you get the entire thing.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense, because what if you could buy more resources in a game like This War of Mine? It kind of would defeat the purpose of the whole game.
Yeah. And he also mentioned that they are making sort of an expansion that's going to be free, that's going to be for... see, this is at 11 o'clock, so I can't remember the word charity.
Yeah. And the details of that are yet to be announced.
Yet to be released. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
Within the month or so. Actually, the same thing about like the first build on tablets.
Also due out very soon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was. We could try it in a month or so,
exactly.
And then
when the first
8
build.
weeks. Yeah. Probably it'll be out on Android and iOS. And I think it's a game that lends itself very well to that platform as well. We did not get any details on what they're doing next.
No.
But we did learn that they're not doing another Anomaly anytime soon, because they were
fed up with it.
fed up with anomalies. So we won't see that. And
it's also not going to be the same as This War of Mine. They want to keep on. He used the analogy of a great film director that's not stuck in a genre. So he's making they're going to be making great games, but not
necessarily the same kind of
necessarily
games.
War or they want to take genres, mix them together, make something new. So
basically we have no idea, but we don't think it's going to be a tower offense game or this kind of game that this War of Mine is.
Well, we know they are working on it.
Yes.
There was also an announcement that came out today from Paradox.
Yes. Knights of Pen and Paper 2 is getting released in May, so very soon.
Yeah. All platforms, right?
Yeah, Steam, PC, Mac, Linux, and then Android and iOS.
Yeah.
So I think it was Android as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we saw it on iPad, and the game is fairly advanced. There is a new developer. I believe they're called Key.
Yeah.
So Behold Studios, of course, the small Brazilian team that did the first one. They're busy doing Chroma Squad. It's a sort of a hilarious take on running one of those Japanese TV studios thingies, management kind of game. Not entirely sure about it, but I remember seeing it on Kickstarter. They were busy, so they couldn't do the sequel, so they got a Finnish team. It's called Key, I think, to do it, and it's very much in the vein of the first game. They've expanded a little bit on the weapons. There's going to be some crafting in there, and then they're just fleshing it out a little bit more. And it's got this really interesting story. That's sort of like a meta game. There's the group that you're playing as are like the veterans of this role-playing game.
Yeah, the OGs.
Yes, played it, and you're adhering to that first rule set. And now there's these munchkins coming in, ruining everything, and wanting to establish the second edition rule set and basically making you obsolete.
Yeah, which basically means the end of the world, because if the entire world is on the second rule set, you can't play it on the first rule set.
Yeah, so you're really fighting for your existence, and as you'd expect, there's a ton of different in-jokes and culture, popular references, etc., and I created this, what was it? It was ninja...
a hipster ninja dwarf.
Yeah, that's the combination that I created. Very, very useful, I think. Very efficient guy. But yeah, that's also one of the beauties of it. You don't have to min-max everything. If you don't want to, you can progress through the main story if you will. You're probably going to find more difficult with some of the side contents if you don't try and max it out. Yeah. And take advantage of, because all the different weapons and all the different abilities that you level up, they sort of, you can really, really tailor your characters in a lot of different ways, and you need to take advantage of your abilities, and then you can do great damage.
But I mean, they said that they're going to try to make both approaches viable, both coming in, trying to make the optimal build min-maxing, and just trying to do crazy stuff. But and they also said this is still a Paradox game, so neither venue is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Then we also went to the Mix, which is was like 48 indie games, all in one place, completely filled with people. It's a nightmare filming there.
Yeah, it's called the Media Indie Exchange, and basically what it is they have a lot of indie games there, indie developers. They have stations with their games. There's also indie developers there who don't have games there, but they're just taking up space. No, they're there to socialize and hang out and have a beer or two and talk and eat, and it's a nice vibe to the place. It was really hot, really crowded, and very noisy, as you'd expect. But yeah, we got a lot of interviews done. I think
some nice content coming.
Or something like that. We did interviews on Volume with Mike Biddle. We did an interview on Severed from Drinkbox Studios.
Massive Chalice
from Double Fine with Brad Muir. We talked to him. We talked about a game called Blues and Bullets.
Very interesting title. Kind of a mix of an adventure game and like the action sequences. I'm not quite sure how they're gonna play out exactly. It kind of looks like a bullet gallery, but he also mentioned Uncharted during the interview.
So you're gonna move in third person I guess between different
bullet galleries.
Yes, something like that. And it's
that's
also
going to be episodic.
Episodic, first episode out this summer.
Yeah, and then he said it's going to be 5 episodes. They're not currently working on all the rest of the episodes, but it's still going to be done by the end of the year.
Yes, very optimistic. And it was Xbox One for now.
Yeah.
And then they're also looking at other things. Cool thing, alternate history, kind of weird Elliot Ness and Al Capone thing going there.
Yeah.
What else did we see that was interesting over there? Axiom Verge.
Yeah.
Strafe that you played.
Yeah, Strafe. That was recently kickstarted. And they have a they released a broken build for backers and press, and now they've updated that with a less broken build.
Yeah.
It's still quite broken. I died because of frame rate issues.
Oh, so you say?
But yeah. Lot of fun.
Yeah.
Back to the 90s kind of Quake kind of gameplay, but there's gonna have roguelike elements that are not quite present in the build.
I guess this is not.
No, this is like a speed run
Yeah.
kind of build. But check it out and play that. But I can't wait anymore. I want to talk about my highlight of the day. You know what it is.
I know what it is.
Yes.
Bombshell.
Yeah.
Yes. From Interceptor Entertainment.
And 3D Realms.
Yes.
That I walked into that hotel room. I did not expect that. It's basically an kind of it has isometric view, but all the assets are they say rendered in kind of like a first-person type of style. So they have all the cutscenes are basically the camera zoomed in engine.
Yeah.
It's a female protagonist who used to be a bomb disposal expert and leader of this crew of Navy SEALs.
Yes.
Until she made a mistake and lost her arm and her crew.
Yes.
So now she has a huge robot arm.
Called Knuckles.
Yeah, that can turn into, what was it, 8 different weapons?
8 different weapons, and each of those weapons, I think there's something like 5 different ways to evolve each of those weapons. So there's like 40 weapon combinations that you can have, and they are kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So many different things, but the one thing that I really liked about it was the bowling bomb that you had.
Yeah.
That you can also evolve into different ways. Just a brilliant sort of mechanic to solve grenades from an isometric view.
Yeah, and it looks kind of like those old, cartoon bombs with the fuse, but you throw it out and then it just rolls towards an enemy.
Yeah.
If there's no enemy, it comes back to you. And then you can evolve it into all these sorts of different hybrids. Same with like the
heart attack one.
Yeah, you throw it out, and then 3 kind of like light snakes come out of it. They find the enemies, drill into their hearts, and then explode them.
Yes. It takes a little while, though, so you get to sort of really linger with that sort of feel. Where
you get to punch the enemy and kind of grief them.
Yeah.
I mean, that game kind of hit all my high points.
Yeah, it certainly is. Even though it's kind of a fresh approach to the isometric action game, given the mechanics, and it's very much sort of a twitch-based thing. You move very quickly, you slide and you jump, and everything is very sort of...
Yeah, I mean, Interceptor, of course, comes from making the Rise of the Triad remake, which was insanely fast first person.
Yeah.
I mean, I've played that a bit, and I mean, I'm not saying that I'm great at first-person shooters, but I suck at Rise of the Triad because it's super fast and twitchy, and they're bringing that into an isometric third-person game, which, looks very interesting indeed. We have an interview on that coming up as soon as I can pump it out. But I think it's kind of time to press the record button, and I'm gonna bring it over to my editing station over here and
hit the sack.
Yeah, get this out to you as soon as possible and get to sleep, because there's a long day tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we're getting up in 8 hours.
Starting with Unity and then moving on. But yeah, see you tomorrow.
See ya.